Welcome back to the show. So before the break, I teased you with a message that we've been sent by Mr. Tyson Fury from Mr. Anthony Joshua, and we can see his response now. So here it is. This is what he wanted us to pass on to you.
Yeah.
Hey there, this is Tyson Fury, aka the Gypsy King, the best heavyweight on the planet. This is a special message to Anthony Joshua. AJ, I'm gonna punch your head in, you big dosser. Jonathan, kick him off the show, will you, buddy? All the best, guys. Have a fantastic night. And AJ, I'll see you in the ring. Let's go down.
You know what? You know what? We all waited for Anthony's
I was about to say that. We all waited to see what you were going to say.
I mean, is he okay with that? Yeah, he's okay with that. Good, we can go.
Oh, my God.
What's good, family? Smash the like button and subscribe. So we just heard there from Anthony. Well, we heard there from Tyson, Theory, and AJ on the Jonathan Ross show. And I can't lie, man. You can see the picture in there. But listen, I'm going to be critical, but you know what I'm like. Let me just say this. I prefer the approach of, I want to see AJ Gully. That's it. And I understand that. I really do believe in it. The more I see it, the more I see things like McTapper, yeah? Look how moist McTapper is. McTapper, yeah, it was all a fad, or it was all a fake anyway, but still. McTapper in 2013, 2014, 2015, he didn't really have that jolliness about him. Yes, he was funny, but he was serious with it. Because do you know why he was serious with it? Because he was seriously broke. There's something, I'm sorry, I hate to break it to you, man, but there is something in that. Although, having said that, the old fighters, Mike Tyson and their mum are still gully. So I don't know what it is. Maybe it's this new age 2021 business with all the fruity tootiness going around. Because you've got to admit, there is a lot of fruity tootiness going around in 2021. It might be that. I don't know. But all I'm saying is, McTapper in 2013, 2014, he had this gulliness to him. He had this snare on him. And even AJ, I showed you, man, a video. AJ and Dillian White in the pre-fight, in the gloves to gloves. What, gloves to gloves? I don't know, that one where they sit down, face-to-face thing. AJ was gully. He just stood there. He sat there, yeah. His face was blank. And he said, what did he say? Compose yourself. Compose yourself. Now, I'm not trying to get all, what does it matter what word he says? But it's the way he said it. It was just, it had this vibe to it. This gulliness to it. This rawness to it. And I'm a man, yeah, but it had this kind of, what's the word? I'm not even sure, but it was... it's hard to put into words, but the point is, it had this level of, command to it. And even Dillian, who himself is a man, who himself is a big, strong man, Dillian himself had to humble himself. And he said to AJ, I am composed. He was begging AJ for validation. He was begging the alpha male for. That's what it felt like to me. I'm telling you, man. I don't even like that word. That word annoys me, but I only use it in certain circumstances. And when Dillian sat down with AJ, he was begging for validation from the alpha. That's just what it is. I hate to break it to you, man. That is what it is. And for example, do you remember when Mike Tyson sat down with Razor Ruddock? And he said, if he don't, it doesn't count. The way he said it, the face was blank. Like that is, I don't know, it's something about that, the way they do it. Now, you see him on there, it's all smiling, and I don't know, man. I'm just not really feeling them ones. Look at McTapper as well. It's not just AJ. Look at McTapper. McTapper, yeah. He goes in there, back in 2013, he had this rawness about him. And then, he goes in there with Dustin Prober. And what's he saying? I'm going to donate to your thing, and you're going to give me your hot sauce, and they're all just licking each other. I don't know, I can't, it's not inspiring, is it? There were certain videos, yeah, from McTapper. If McTapper had told me to jump off a bridge, I probably would have gone off with him. you know what I'm saying? There's certain videos from McTapper, if he'd have said, YB, jump off a bridge, I probably would have followed him off, because I was inspired. That's all gone. He's wet now. He's soft now. He's soft. Now, I understand that AJ's in there with Jonathan Ross, and I understand it's a laughy thing, but Fury said, "You big stiff dosser." And I understand it can be seen as funny, but I don't know, man. When AJ was in there with Dillian, yeah, he weren't finding nothing funny. Go and watch it. Go and watch the glove to gloves with Dillian and AJ. There weren't no smiling. There weren't none. And that's what I can't understand. What is that? What's changed? Why is it smiling for? And like, listen, I'm broke. I'm broke. So I understand that when you got 100 million in the bank, I'd probably, listen, when you're broke, it's easy not to find things funny, isn't it? I can see that. Thinking about it now, taking a step back, I can see how, when you're broke, things ain't funny in general, are they? When you're broke, nothing's funny. So I can understand why Tapper, AJ, they weren't broke, but when even way, they didn't have the FU money back then. Now, when you got all this money, it seems to be everyone just, nothing's as stressful, is it? Everyone just kind of loosey-goosey now. It's all just kind of, well, innit? There ain't none of that. I don't feel that rawness. And I don't know why. What's changed? And like I said, the fighters from the 90s, they had money as well. They was rich, but they still had this level of rawness. I'm not sure what's kind of changed. But this is the big fight now. We're in the big one now. We need the most gulliest. And I hate to break it to you, man, but the thing is that AJ said it, but he said before the Pulev fight, "Oh, I want to smash him," but it weren't that one. It weren't a Dillian White one. When AJ was in there with Dillian White, yeah, he had no regard. The shots were bouncing off. He had no respect, and that was Dillian White. I don't care what. No, there's some goofy dons out there who say, "Oh, YB Pulev was the biggest puncher in history," and that's why AJ no. Dillian White is levels above Pulev, and AJ just chewed through Dillian, had no respect for him. The shots was bouncing off, like Robocop, yeah? It was Robo AJ. No doubt. Just march forward. No respect. And I don't know whether I'm drawing a wrong correlation here, but all I know is the pre-fight build-up to the Dillian White fight was gully. There weren't no laughing, there weren't no smiling, because there was nothing funny. And I don't know about you, man, yeah, but for me personally, AJ versus Fury, there's nothing funny about it. That's how I feel. There ain't nothing funny. Having said that, I can understand how Fury saying you big stiff dosser on TV. I can see how that might be perceived as funny. I get that. But then again, having said that, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. Maybe it's me trying to be idealistic. I'm just trying to draw correlations here. AJ was gully. He really wanted to get in there with Dillian. The Fury thing, I'd love to feel that as well. I'd love to get that same vibe, wouldn't you? I'd love to get that disdain vibe. Because let's not forget as well, it's not as if, yeah, I'd argue that Fury said more things about AJ than Dillian has, when you think about it, really. When you look back at history, Fury said more stuff than AJ has. Sorry, Fury said more stuff than Dillian. So, if AJ was just begging, you could just see it. AJ was begging to get his hands on Dillian. He was sticking his tongue out. He was in there just loving it. He couldn't wait to get in there with Dillian. I want him to feel the same way about Fury. Like, really feel it. Not say it and then... Because that's the thing, I'm sorry. There's a difference, yeah. He said it in the Pulev fight and it didn't really translate. I'll tell you, man, when it's there. And it's not there right now. I hate to break it to you, man, but it's not. That snare ain't there right now. It's all kind of that loosey-goosey approach. You know what I mean? Cracking jokes. That cracking jokes thing don't work. That's what I'm thinking. The cracking, like, historically speaking, turning it on from cracking jokes and then getting gully. I haven't seen it work well. Show me a fighter, yeah, who goes from cracking jokes to getting gully. I'm trying to think of one. Tell me one. I don't know. I haven't seen it. There should be, in my mind, yeah, there should be nothing funny that Fury's got to say. Nothing funny, nothing out of Fury's mouth should be funny. It should all be straight gully. Because you've got to remember as well, there's also a psychological element to this game. And I think Fury will be twitching. Obviously, if AJ's in there and he's smiling and it's all happy, I don't know if that ain't going to get Fury twitching, but if AJ gives that performance that he did against Dillian got sunned in there. I'm not even being biased. I'm just calling a spade a spade. Go and watch the AJ and Dillian face to face. Dillian was pressed in there. He was bubbling up. He kept getting sunned, and that's why Dillian tried to make it physical. Shall we go outside? Because he knew he was, psychologically, he was schooled. So the next best thing was, oh, let's go outside then. He had to kind of lower it to that level. Because psychologically he was broken. That's what I'm looking for in this Fury fight, in the Fury fight. This dude, Fury, needs to be worked properly. Not half-cooked like Pulev. Properly, it needs to be cooked. You need to be, in my opinion, yeah, AJ need to be going in there with bad intentions. Like a true bad intentions. And we heard something AJ said the other day that, what was it? I couldn't give a F about Fury's deadline. That was half, but for me, I don't know. In my own mind, yeah. If I'm fighting someone, and I get it, let me think about it now, because you are on a national TV show, so we have to appreciate that potentially there's other people there. Maybe you don't want to come across as a spoil sport, but even then, you're fighting the guy, yeah? I'm thinking about it now, scrap all that. I was just saying, oh, maybe he doesn't want to come across as a spoil sport, but really no, because Fury just called you a big stiff dosser. And I get it, I can see how it can be a little bit funny, but still. I don't know, man. I don't know. That's just what I'm thinking, anyway. Because all I know is, yeah, this whole fruity approach ain't working for anyone right now. In the whole this 2021 fruity business, it's not working. It's not. People can't get up for it. Or as in the fighters, they're not getting up for it. It's just kind of that slovenly approach. Again, look at McTapper. McTapper was no shots was touching McTapper. And now the same man he slept here is bullying him all around the ring. Don't tell me what's changed then. McTapper's physiology hasn't changed. He's still the same. He's still got the same atoms in his body. What's changed is his mentality. See that? See the difference a mentality can make. 1 minute he's in there with Dustin Prober and he's just lighting him up, whooping him. P-head. The next minute he gets some money. He goes fruity, and he getting knocked all over the ring with the first thing that lands. And, it's all mentality. And I get it, when you got all this money, it's hard to do. But, I don't know. Maybe I'm being idealistic here. I just feel that there's nothing out of Fury's mouth I find funny. In that respect. Yeah? Now, after we've whooped him, if we want to crack some jokes, then crack the jokes. You know what I mean? The jokes can roll after he's been whooped. Just like Dillian. Let the jokes roll after the fight. At the moment, it should be straight gully. AJ should have sat there and just had a straight face and just looked at him.